Trading is perhaps one of the most popular forms of business ventures that we have, not only here in the Philippines, but all around the world. As a matter of fact, many of our Chinese ancestors are traders. They're involved in shops that have general merchandise, and also many of our Taipans, Lucio Tan, Gokong Wei, Henry C., they started off as ordinary traders. Perhaps one of the beautiful things about trading is that there are two forms, known as barter and being an agent, that requires little or no capital at all. Or in Filipino, we say, laway lang ang puhunan. So let's look at these three forms. Let's start first with buy and sell. In buy and sell, you normally buy a certain product and you sell it at a profit. Say a house worth 20 million, you sell it at 25 million, so you have a profit of 5 million. However, what if you don't have a capital? Well, as I said, there are two other forms of trading, and I guess this is most ideal for students because students normally don't have that much money, where you have little or no capital required at all, and you call them barter and being an agent. Barter is probably the first type of trade that we had. I mean, our prehistoric ancestors were involved in barter before the invention of currency or money. So let's say you have someone who has a coconut, would like to trade it with someone who has fish. So he just goes to the fisherman, gives his coconut, and in exchange gets his fish. That's it, done deal. Nowadays, however, we call barter with this modern term known as the X-deal, and we see it most of the time in media outfits. Let's say you own a restaurant and you would like to have a media plug in a popular show, noontime show like Itbulaga. Unfortunately, one plug costs around 50,000 pesos, and it just so happens that you don't have 50,000 pesos at the time. So you can have an X deal with Itbulaga. All you have to do is just give Itbulaga food worth 50,000 pesos, and in exchange, as part of the X deal, you get your 50,000 plug. So that's what an X deal is all about. As for being an agent, basically you serve as a middleman between a seller and the buyer. Sometimes the agent represents the seller, sometimes the agent represents the buyer, sometimes you could have multiple agents involved representing the seller and the buyer. Now, there are three types of agents, and they're arranged based on their level of expertise as well as the sort of input that they provide in consummating a certain sale. They are the broker, the salesman, and the finder. Okay, what's the difference between a broker, a salesman, and a finder? Well, a broker, for one, is someone that has a certain technical expertise in order to facilitate a sale. That is why you have regulatory agencies like agencies of the government that regulate brokers' exams. So right now, the real estate exam is regulated by PRC. The stockbrokers exam, I don't know if it's under PRC. The insurance exam, I think, is under the National Insurance Commission. Business brokers, I don't know of any agency here in the Philippines that regulates this, but it is a fact that our very high-level business brokers normally have good experience and good expertise to facilitate these high-end deals, you know, mergers and acquisitions. Some of them are lawyers by profession, some of them are politicians who have a long experience or expertise in doing negotiations. Take the case of the botched up NBN ZTE deal involving a lot of money. Well, that's a good example of business brokerage. Next to the business broker, you have what is known as the salesman. So a salesman can also get involved in a deal, and he can negotiate, but he doesn't have the same technical expertise as the broker. In real estate, a broker is authorized to have a maximum, I think, of 20 salesmen under his wing. So these people could find either potential sellers or buyers for the real estate that the broker is offering. Okay, so they have the authority to consummate the sale, to make negotiations, to make pitches, and so on and so forth. A finder, on the other hand, which is at the last rung of the pecking order, is someone who just finds either a seller or a buyer, but he does not get involved in the process of negotiation. That's why when it comes to compensation, the finder has the least compensation of all. No? What he gets is what you call a finder's fee or a referral fee. Next to the finder, you have the salesman who gets a commission. And then you have a broker who gets a broker's fee. Sometimes the broker's fee is also called the commission. Okay?